Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of On the Table podcast, where we talk about Christian tables and basically put them on the table to have
Christian tables.
Yeah. I was actually feeling that one. I was like, okay,
I actually didn't hear myself say that.
Christian tables, that's it.
That's
I was
great.
like, we gonna do.
I think we should have a blooper reel. This. Sorry.
It's too funny.
Let's go again. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, it's anointed. Okay, hey guys, welcome to On the Table podcast, where we talk about different topics through a Christian lens, and we kind of just put them on the table to have a little conversation about it. My name is Sophia. I'm one of the social media leads for the OGGM team, and I'm joined by our two lovely guests. Introduce yourselves, guys.
My name is Laddie. So I'm currently in my fourth year of university doing engineering design and transitioning into that work environment.
Cool. I'm Gabby. I'm also on the OGGM team, and I'm a social media executive.
Nice. So yeah, just before we get started, we've got some would you rathers for you guys. So gonna get into the first one. Would you rather be a member of a non-denominational church or a denominational church?
I think I can answer that one. So the church I was in previously before moving to London was non-denominational, although I do know my pastor's denomination. And I think I would go for that option simply because I've experienced some denominational churches in Nigeria, which is like an extreme, but I do see like a lot of division. It is a very big extreme. I do see like a lot of division in those churches to the effect where like a Protestant would not want to like relate with a Catholic and so on. And I think being a Christian and being united as one body, I just like that idea a bit more.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah, I'm the same. When you say denominational, do you mean like Pentecostal, and like are we just talking Protestant Catholic type vibe?
When I say it.
Yeah,
Quite a lot of them to be fair. So I think.
Yeah, like okay, cool. Yeah, I am part of a Pentecostal church now, but it doesn't make a difference to me as long as doctrine is sound. Like I'm good. Like I'm easy either way.
I agree. Like I wouldn't say I prefer one to the other, because I think there are good churches that are part of denominations and good churches that are non-denominational. But yeah, I definitely grew up in a denominational church and I liked it. So but there are extremes in many cases which disunify the body. So that's what we kind of want to avoid. But yeah. Okay, cool. So our next one is, bear with me, guys. Our next. Would you rather have a conversation with, okay, these are two goats in the Bible. Would you rather have a conversation with Moses or Peter, and why?
Peter. I would definitely.
That was a clear answer.
Yeah, like just like Peter's like letters are just some of my favorite. I would just ask him, like, how did you go from denying Jesus to like where you are now, like, well, where he was when he died, and like dying for the cause and all of that stuff? Like, how did you, like, what did you do to like, what sparked that transition? Like, I guess obviously it's the things that he saw, but like, I just want to talk to him about like how was it, like, life as a disciple, and all of that.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard question because like you said, they're two goats. When I think of Moses and like everything with the flood, I would want to understand a bit more about that. Yeah. I think I would go for Peter, simply because in him like relating with Jesus, knowing Judas Iscariot, I'd also like understand how exactly that all went down. Yeah. Like how do you relate with each other? And again, like moving from that aspect of being someone like Peter before he met Jesus to like reaching the level that he did. Literally. I think I'd really, really want to understand that a bit more.
Yeah, I think I'm similar in that, like, I have some serious questions for Peter, like, why did you deny him, bro? Like, you literally...
3 times as well.
Walked with him, you had deep, meaningful convo with Jesus himself, and you're like, yeah, this guy, I don't know who it is. But I would choose Moses just because, like, I'd want to know what it was like trying to lead people who were just like, Ed, not listening to you. You told me this, it's not happening, blah, blah, blah. Like, I imagine it was really difficult chore and that we could learn a lot from Moses and I guess being leaders in our worlds and our communities. So yeah, I'd like to talk to Moses.
One other thing is, like, I'd ask Peter, like, what was the transfiguration like? Like, what was that actually like? Like, what was it like seeing that? Sorry, I think it's a bit bad to me, but sorry, just think about it.
I'd want to know how like he transitioned from like being with Jesus to like not being with him anymore.
Yeah, like
and like how did that affect him?
Yeah.
That must be so sad.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how did you grieve? How did you heal from that?
Yeah.
That's great.
How did he feel when like Paul was rebuking him?
Yeah, I think that must have been a deep one as well.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these
How did he
guys-
feel when Paul came on the scene? Because like Paul didn't even like witness anything.
Yeah, was
like,
he a bit jealous? Was he like, where did this guy come from?
Do you know he's going to build the church
Yeah.
on me?
Yeah.
You're not
I'm
the
the
guy.
rock. I'm the rock.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, we might never get the answers to these questions, but it's interesting to think about. So yeah, on to what we have on the table today. We'll be speaking
Christian
about
table.
Christmas and whether it's kind of still about Jesus and the commercialization of Christmas. So I guess starting question is like, should we as Christians kind of celebrate Christmas in the commercialized way? What are your guys' like thoughts on that?
I'd ask a follow-up question to understand a bit more. Like, could you like touch on what the commercialized way is specifically for anyone really?
Yeah.
Christmas dinner. What's that pie? Mince pie.
Yeah. Black pudding.
Black pudding.
Yeah. Christmas trees, presents.
Yeah, Christmas trees.
Christmas cards.
Yeah.
Santa.
The elves.
Wow.
Mrs. Claus.
Okay,
Wow.
yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Turning on the light shows.
There's a whole culture,
Yeah.
putting up your Christmas tree on November
Yeah.
1st because some people are mad. But yeah,
Is that mad?
But there's actually a thing.
November 1st. You're one of the ones that celebrate Christmas.
The way she said you could tell it was like a personal attack.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but I think like you said, there were like a lot of different things that you touched on there. So there are some things like the whole Santa situation and the whole commercialization to the point of like having to buy gifts at such an extreme level, which I would be against. But again, like with gift giving and thinking about how it relates to Christianity, I think obviously like Christ was the ultimate gift to us. So that aspect of like giving gifts to people and to your family, your loved ones could be important. I think what really matters is where your heart stands on the issue. Like, are you doing this because you want the best present? Or are you again just linked and thinking back to that Christian idea of actually caring about people, being giving, being generous? And I think where your heart stands on the issue is more important than like how exactly that's shown in the traditions that we do use. But the whole Santa Claus thing, I think no matter where your heart stands, I'm just like, I don't really, because I think it takes so much away from Jesus. It's like, yeah, he's not really the focus anymore. It's this other person. So yeah.
He's literally an idol.
But then
if you do it.
it's for children.
So the children can't have Jesus as like their...
No, but like Jesus didn't like come with like a sleigh. Like it's like a whole. But Santa Claus is for children.
Yeah.
Like I mean, so what, you're not gonna do Santa Claus with your kids? Like
Absolutely.
To be
not.
fair,
Really?
think about it. Like, I think, is it that deep? Is it not that deep? But I think if they ask me, is Santa Claus real? I'll probably be like, no. And just say to him as it is, I think. Because it may not be that deep as well. But even like growing up and understanding Christmas as a Christian holiday, I would want them from early on to just link it to Jesus Christ, especially because I think those first 7 years of someone's life is important. And if Christmas is going to be like the ultimate holiday that you want to link back to Christianity, I would want my child to link that more to Jesus Christ compared to Santa Claus.
right, got you. But then I would say like Easter is
As
like
the
the
Easter bunny
it's
one.
the ultimate
Battle of the
holiday.
holidays.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't gonna do like Easter bunny, all of that. Actually,
But
It's
in
kind
your experience, is
yeah.
Easter celebrated more than Christmas? Or do you think Christmas is really the big one?
I think people like Christmas because, you know, it's more... Easter's also commercialized, but Christmas is really where the, you know...
Yeah.
That's where
masses,
every
the
single
secular world
person...
starts
Yeah.
pushing
Yeah.
things for real. Like, there's discounts, you know, all the Christmas
Sales.
sales. People
Yeah.
love a good sale.
yeah,
Yeah.
Black Friday.
For some people,
Yeah.
that's the only time they go to church
Yeah.
in a year,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
than Easter.
yeah.
Yeah, but as in terms, because it's not, obviously Jesus's birth is important, but it's not by his birth that we were saved, it's by his death.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Easter is like the...
Yeah, but then like it's like I guess it's a celebration of God coming down, putting on human skin,
Yeah.
and like coming to live among.
Oh, snap.
Okay, come.
I'm so sorry. My AirPods are in. I didn't know you ever
Where do we go back to?
You can just continue from like in the middle of where you were.
Say like, why is that one recording?
Okay.
It's like,
What was I saying?
yeah, so back to the ultimate holiday.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. God, oh my gosh, what was I saying? Oh,
I can follow up on that, to be fair.
Ultimate holiday. Then I said, no, just go. Someone go. I've actually forgotten now.
Yeah, like with Christmas and Easter, like one thing I do think about with Easter, it seems a bit more true to the Christian faith. Like you said, there's less of that like commercialized aspect of it. But within Easter, I think mostly Christians actually celebrate Easter.
Yeah.
One thing I do like about Christmas, even though like there's the negative aspects that come with it, people from different walks of life who have never heard about Christianity just have like a chance to at least know about Jesus. So I think it does provide that gateway for people to come through.
Yeah.
I'd question though, like everyone knows about Christmas, but do they?
No.
Like,
Yeah.
No, and it's like they're partaking in the festivities, but are we actually using that as an entrance point to like share the gospel with people? Like in your gift giving, if you're giving it to people who aren't who aren't Christian, are you then sharing like the reason why I'm giving you a gift, the reason why we're celebrating the fact that Jesus is the gift, not the thing that's in the box I'm giving you? So there defo is a great opportunity with Christmas. It's just, are we actually seizing it? And if we're not, then like they're just making a mockery of
In that regard, then do you think like Christmas has a more negative or positive aspect on like getting to understand Jesus for the whole of our culture?
I think like it's difficult to categorize it as negative or positive, but there defo are negatives with the commercialization, because I think if you look at other religions, like obviously Christianity is like the prominent religion in this country, but the way that we've made it so accessible for people without having to understand the gospel as a prerequisite, or like having to hear the gospel as a prerequisite, they can kind of just come and go as they please, like have their little party, eat their little dinner and gain nothing from it. But like with, let's say it's Eid celebrations, like you're not gonna get to partake in that unless I've explained to you what it is, you've understood, and then as they believe, I guess their lives can be changed by it. And I feel like we should have more of that approach where we don't want people just to be involved passively, but like genuinely use it as an entrance point for them to know Christ.
Yeah. I think I just didn't really ever understand the concept of like Christmas actually being a celebration of salvation. Like just like Jesus actually coming, like God actually coming, putting on human skin, like coming to live among us. Like that's actually like what we're ultimately celebrating. But like, you know, like they celebrate it in Dubai, like a completely Muslim country. Like, you know, that they'll put on lights, they'll do Christmas trees and all that stuff. But like like what you were saying about Eid, like very much, I don't know why Christians have kind of not allowed it, but like that's why is that really?
I think like with Christmas as well, I think now we do celebrate it as like a Christian sort of tradition, but I don't think it possibly started off that way. Like when I looked into like the history of like Christmas, how it started off, it wasn't really linked to Christ's birth. And even looking at the Bible as well, like Easter is something that you sort of say, okay, this is the time Jesus died and rose. You can like link that back to Christianity. And although that Jesus' birth is obviously such a big, important thing, I think it was somehow linked from something else and then brought into Christianity. More so from probably like a pagan religion in some other sense, and then delved into and mixed with Christianity to then form what we have now. Because truly I doubt that December 25th was the day that Jesus was born. But again, I don't think it necessarily matters if he was born on that day. I think the importance of obviously just acknowledging that, okay, our Savior obviously came, can be good and can be used to again bring life to everything that he has done.
Because the early church didn't actually celebrate Christmas at all for like years, and like, you know, the pagan traditions were just like kind of brought in like kind of afterwards, and they only actually celebrated Easter, like, or like Jesus' resurrection and stuff. But then I guess that was a part of the culture at the time, like just celebrating people's deaths was more common than celebrating their birthdays, quote unquote. So yeah, I guess it's just something to consider, like where did it actually kind of come from when we are celebrating. But as long as we keep Jesus at the forefront, that is the most important part, like about it, like, you know, knowing the meaning behind everything that we're doing. But I don't think there's anything wrong with kind of like enjoy it.
Having a good time.
I don't know, eggnog
or mince pie.
Presents. Yeah, exactly.
So I guess with all of those things being said, what are your guys' kind of experiences with celebrating Christmas? Like what thing, let's say in the future, you have a family, you're going to celebrate Christmas. Like what kind of things do you want to bring into your family? What kind of things wouldn't you like? Gifts, how extravagant are you going to be, type thing?
Yeah, I'm going to decorate my house. Like that's what like, we're gonna take it quite seriously. But it's actually generally just the time to like just have fun with Christmas decorations. But like I don't know, like growing up, like we didn't really celebrate Christmas like that. Like we had a Christmas tree, but it was quite like, it was very average. Like it wasn't it wasn't really like, you know, and we didn't actually give presents. Like by the time I was like 7, like we stopped giving presents. Like I didn't even believe in Santa like when I was younger. But it was like the principle of like we did Bible study on Christmas Day. Like that was like kind of like today's.
But you had to go to church before you could open presents.
No, we actually never did that. We actually didn't do that. But did you?
I mean, when I went to church, it was when you get home.
I hear it. No, we
actually notes about Jesus.
I hear it. My church didn't run a Christmas service, so like we would just literally sit down, do Bible study, everyone praise and worship, and then you could open your gifts like after that.
That's nice. At least yours was like related to Christ in some point in the beginning. For me as well, I think we stopped when I was like 7 or so. Yeah. So in my family, like my mom, dad would buy us gifts. I didn't really think about it in any Christian sense. I was like, I wanted a new PS3 or PS2 at the time. So it was just like that time that I knew, okay, I was going to get gifts from all of my family members. I do think it was nice in the sense that it was the time as well where like my different cousins, uncles, friends again would just come together. So it was sort of like a very family oriented holiday. But from when I became 8 or 9, we just stopped getting gifts. Every year till now, they will still force us to make a Christmas tree together, which again, it was annoying at the time, but when we do complete, I'm like, okay, this was actually nice. It's a way of like bringing the family together. I did reach a point as well where I just stopped caring about like the day of Christmas and New Year. But it was an interesting 2-3 year period in my life where I was just thinking, oh no, I can obviously thank God every day. I can celebrate God every day. I don't need to do this on these specific days. But I think I've come out of that slightly now. I think in the future, with my family, I'll definitely celebrate it with them. I think it's a time to sort of like give gifts to people. And again, that may never change. It may become even more commercialized with the way everything is going now. But I think just that aspect, I'll really try to imbibe or sort of teach them the aspect of like, this is about being generous. Like how obviously God was generous to us. And try as best as possible to obviously try and teach them. It will be difficult. But like, I think I'll do my best.
No, that's good. I think I'd say something similar in that I definitely want to celebrate in my family because it's even just a nice time to fellowship. Like a lot of people have work off.
Hey,
why do you? No. Why do you guys do that? Like it's actually roast dinner. Like it's actually why are you doing your traditional foods?
It's actually true though.
No, it's actually.
Obviously, I grew up in Nigeria, so I was like, there's no roast dinner, there's no minced. This whole mince pie thing is so odd and weird to me. It's like jollof rice and chicken.
That is so funny.
Then like Fanta, Coke. You eat as much as you can till you can't move anymore. That was basically
get into like, why are we encouraging gluttony in celebration?
I mean, that's the thing.
That is a celebration of Jesus. I
think with Christmas there is that like aspect of like excess in every way, like excess of gifts, excess of food. So there is that like wants to obviously do so much, which is interesting.
Does that mean then? Do you think it's possible to do too much for Christmas?
Definitely. It can be. Let me think. Actually,
I think if the meaning.
I think I would still do too much, and I would try to remember that meaning. I hope I'm not like deceiving myself in my mind. We'll see.
No, I think as long as the meaning is there, like what is too much, like you know. Actually, like you know, like some people's lights, like the outside, like
it's blinding.
It's a lot. It's
like we receive the greatest gift, so there's no too much. We're trying to exactly just think back to that.
That's good.
But I think Christmas is. Oh, do you know what I think would be so cute? You know, like around Christmas, people do like homeless outreach, stuff like that. Homeless outreach, or like you're packing the boxes at church. Those kinds of things that just really, I guess, ground us in doing like good things, displaying the love of the Father, generosity. I'd love to do that. And obviously they can have fun as long as they know like we're not worshipping the tree. Like we're not putting presents under the tree to sacrifice to it. It's never that. It's definitely all about Christ. But
it's definitely a good way for the church to do stuff like more homeless outreach stuff, like to bring more children and family in. I remember like about 2 years ago in my church, they had like a winter wonderland that we made for the kids. And it was one of my friends that's Muslim. Because it was like a winter wonderland thing and not like a church thing, she decided to come to church for the first time that day, and she ended up becoming a Christian. So again, like it is that period in which like people can be a bit more loose about, okay, let me actually just try this thing out, to be around Christians, and then find the light within Christianity.
That's good. I guess that brings me on to an interesting question when we think about like holidays and other holidays as well. Like, can we take advantage of them to like get people to come in? So this is even like a question that people have around Halloween. Like, should churches celebrate Halloween? Are we becoming too much like the world? It's like, I know where I stand on that question. But some people would see it as an opportunity to engage with people outside of the Christian community. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I just feel like there's so many other ways you can do that without using, was it Halloween? Was it 30th? 30th?
I'm glad you don't even know.
I don't even know what day it is. But yeah, like there's so many other ways you can go out there and evangelize without like, or bringing in people into church without actually doing that. My church used to have like Hallelujah night instead of
Halloween.
Halloween.
Like my church does something similar. They have like a light party. So my pastor was speaking like in his previous preach about Halloween. He's very against it, obviously. So he spoke about how like instead of Halloween, his daughter wanted to go to a party. So he decided to like provide an alternative. So they made like a light party to obviously go against the darkness.
Oh, wow, that's good.
And then the kids can come and see all of this bright stuff in the middle of the darkness and whatnot.
Yeah.
I have celebrated Halloween moving up to a certain point, but I do have to say and agree, like I don't think it's the best holiday to really showcase Christian values. Like the whole foundations of how it started, and even looking at it now and how it's celebrated, it's quite clear that the values that are sort of being brought up or sort of being encouraged are against everything that you sort of stand for as a Christian.
Yeah.
As much as you say, oh yeah, let me go to that party and be the light, it's like, oh, you really, no one's looking at you like, oh yeah.
Everyone's got fake blood on
look
their
at this person.
I'm going to the lights.
So guys like, oh, let me go and dress up like Jesus.
Wow. No, because that's what my Hallelujah night was like with my church. They used to make us dress up like what we want to be when we're older. Like, they like dress up as a doctor.
That's encouraging.
Or a lawyer. Or like,
what if someone now comes and says, I want to be like an agent of darkness? Like, what happens?
Yeah, well, that's between them and their parents.
No, I definitely agree. Like, there's other ways. Like, we shouldn't ever have to step down to appeal to the people. Because the gospel itself should stand like God is more than good enough. So yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I just think Christians like now are just trying to blend in too much, and I don't know why. Like just trying to just look too much like the world. Like they're actually like, it's like a good thing. It's like, no, that's not what's going to attract people to the church. It's not going to do anything basically. But yeah.
I mean, I think one of the main things that we face as Christians now is like we do try to appease or be more like the world. Like with everything with like social media and social validation being such a big thing, you don't want to ever seem too Christian, like, oh no, I can't go to Halloween. So that is one thing that we do have to face, to have those values and just stand strong by them.
No, that's good. This has been great, guys.
Nice.
I guess just before we finish, do you have any like final thoughts for people this Christmas?
Remember Jesus.
That's good.
As much as possible, just try and put Jesus at the center. Like you can buy your gifts, do everything you want, even include Santa Claus if that's for you. But again, just put him at the center.
Whether you eat or drink, do everything for the glory of God.
Exactly.
So,
wow.
Amen.
So good. As the songwriter once said, Jesus is the reason for this season. That's good. Thanks for listening, guys.